Okay, continuing on with Appendix A Learning Guide, we are going to omit 1G, and then let's move on now to number 2, which is 120% of what number is 54. And we're going to just strictly translate this from words to numbers and symbols. Of is going to translate to be multiplication. And then what number is going to be our variable. So we'll let our variable be x, and is going to translate to be an equal sign. So as I'm writing the equation, we want that 120% to be in a decimal form. So instead of 120%, we're going to move the decimal place 2 places to the left, which would be the same thing as 1.2. So 1.2 of is multiplication. What number? So times x is 54. I'm going to solve the equation. First of all, 1.2 is being multiplied by x. So if I divide both sides of your equation by 1.2, on this side I'll just be left with x. And then in your calculator, 54 divided by 1.2 is 45. Okay, so what that said was 120% of 45 is 54. Notice 54 is larger than 45, so it makes sense that it could be 120% of the original number. Okay, let's look at number 3. You purchase a new car for $32,800. The local sales tax rate is 6% of the cost. How much sales tax is paid, and what is the car's total cost? So to find the sales tax, we know that we would multiply the tax rate by the original amount of the car. So it would be $32,800 times 6%, which is 0.06 as a decimal, is what? Go ahead and calculate that in the calculator. It would give me 1968, so 1,968. Then the total cost of the car would come from the 32,800 plus the 1968, which gives me $34,768. Okay, and then we've got one more. This one says, according to a poll of 1,500 adults, 540 said police departments did a poor job at holding officers accountable. What percent of those surveys said police departments did a poor job at holding officers accountable? Okay, so we want to know what percent of 1,500 is 540. So what percent of 1,500 is 540? That's using the percent equation. We also know that we could have set it up like we've got 540 out of the total of 1,500. But notice in the second step of the equation to solve for x, when I divide both sides by 1,500, I'm going to get that x equals, and it's that same thing we would have gotten had we started out with just part over whole. Okay, in your calculator, go ahead and divide that, which will give you 0.36, and as a percentage, that would be 36%.